Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. We're drinking a low-proof, hard-to-find darling of Buffalo Trace. That's right, it's Hancocks President's Reserve. So if you're the kind of guy that finds Blanton's a little too spicy for your palate, if you're the kind of guy that 90, 93 proof is just too much, stay tuned because tonight's episode is for you. For those that don't know, this is Hancocks President's Reserve. And what I gotta say is a pretty sweet bottle. Alright, I dig the bottle shape. It's got, like the fake crystal decanter cuts here in the front. It's got the shimmery gold and burgundy label that screams old money. It's got a beautiful metallic neck tag here with just a fat old cork on top. So bottle rating, just for the looks of the bottle, A tonight. I love it. Wish more stuff came in this bottle. But now let's, we gotta talk about the details here. Proof, 88.9. That's right, not 89. They made sure to say 88.9. Okay. Why, I do not know. And this is obviously from Buffalo Trace. Kind of hard to find. I've seen like one of these in the wild. So big shout out to my buddy Mark who let me borrow his here for your review tonight. I saw one of these in the wild probably like 2 years ago at a Total Wine, I think in Delaware. Certainly doesn't come to PA that I know of. I mean, maybe I don't think I've ever seen this in PA. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe it's on the lottery and I just don't pay attention to it. I don't know. It was like $50 at the Total Wine, and I thought to myself at the time, low proof, why get it? But maybe I'll regret that decision. Now, there's really no other information on this bottle. That's it. The back label just says Hancocks President's Reserve as well. Asian bottled by Buffalo Trace Distillery, Frankfort, Kentucky, 88.9 proof. And that's it. I mean, there's just nothing else on this bottle. Like the most nondescript Buffalo Trace release ever. So this is from Mash Bill number 2 lineup. Again, it's probably like the least encountered bottle. I mean, I think Rock Hill Farms, Elmer T. Lee, Blanton's, of course, the old Horsey Grenade's probably the most popular. But, why do they make this? And no one really knows, I don't think. It's just the most nondescript bottle at just a low odd proof. And you're like, what the heck? So, should you hunt one out? Let's find out. Color. Like a dehydrated morning piss. That's the color here. This is light. Which is to be expected with an 88.9 proof. I don't know what else to say about it. Let's give it a nosing. Kind of smells like all the Mash Bill number 2s. I mean, it's just got that little bit of sweet vanilla, a little bit of cherry that I just associate with the Buffalo Trace Mash Bill. If you're very familiar with the Buffalo Trace type product noses, this is no different really. It's got a surprising amount of oak, and the nose is fairly strong. For what I would say is, a sub 90 proof bourbon. Pretty pleasant on the nose. Kind of reminds me of like Eagle Rare. Just light vanilla, a little bit of citrus, caramel, hint of that cherry. Cherry is probably the predominant note. A little red fruit cherry. And just a little bit of oak in the background. It doesn't smell necessarily youthful. Alright, without further ado, let's get to tasting it. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Actually, has a somewhat surprising amount of spice on the back end for such a low-proof bourbon. Exactly what I said on the nose. It's got just that, pop of cherry. Little bit of like leather oak note in there. Pop of spice on the back end, vanilla caramels up front. Very traditional Buffalo Trace. Is it a long finish? A hell no. Is it thick on the mouthfeel? No, it is not. But it's not youthful, and it does appear to be a pretty solid product. Let's take a second sip. It's just straight crushable. I mean, certainly not bad. And, you know, this channel is not necessarily a fan to the Buffalo Trace products, except for Stag Jr. and the BTAC stuff. But I gotta say, it's decent. You know, score-wise, what would I give it? C+. You know, it's just average, easy sipping bourbon. For $50, would I buy one if I saw one? I don't know. I don't think I would, just because I don't drink stuff this low proof that often. People that come over that necessarily aren't into bourbon, they want something, you know, low proof. I actually have some bunch of Widow Janes or something else I'd probably give them. As far as like comparable items, you know, for $50, it seems strong on the pricing game for what it is, right? I think I don't have any left. I think this would compete favorably with like an Old Forester 86, which I did like that bottle. You know, it's a cheap bottle. It's like $20 or less. Stuff in that range, I just think could compete with it. Now, again, with no information, yeah, I don't know. $50 is a hard sell on this. And again, this is for the drinker that wants to like bourbon, but just feels like, man, Blanton's is harsh, or like, that's not smooth enough for you. You know, that's the kind of, it's crazy. That's the kind of person that would drink this. Probably not for the hardcore bourbon fans among us. So, you know, I thought this would be great to compare against Blanton's or like E.H. Taylor Small Batch or Buffalo Trace, but guess what? We're fresh out of those shelf turds. We don't have any here. Sorry to say, we don't. We don't have any Blanton's, don't have any Buffalo Trace, and I don't have any Eagle Rare. And don't have any E.H. Taylor Small Batch. I know, shame on me. I could have all four, but I choose not to because I don't drink those, really. But we do carry the best that Buffalo Trace offers, which is the John J. Bowman Single Barrel out of the great state of Virginia. That's right. This is 100 proof Buffalo Trace distillate aged in Virginia. John J. Bowman's where it's at. If you watch my other reviews, you're going to know that this is a hitter. And the price on this bad boy happens to be 50 doll hairs. So you could get this or you could get that for $50. Not that you ever see that, but let's assume you do. You could buy this or you could buy that. Is this better? Well, let's find out. And a quick side note while we pour this up. The minimum age on a John J. Bowman is 9 years. They're 9 to 12 years old. You know what the minimum age on Blanton's is? 6. So, put that in your pipe and smoke it. This is generally older than most of the Buffalo Trace stuff. Like it considerably more than anything I mentioned there. Eagle Rare, E.H. Taylor Small Batch, Buffalo Trace, Blanton's. This smokes them all. The good old John J. Bowman. Color, you know, it's right here. Oh, it's shades darker, but it's not exactly dark. It's not cast strength, right? But it is darker. Let's give it a nosing. Oh my God, just the depth of flavor and character here is so much greater. This is all like fruits. I get the cherry on here, but it's much darker. I just get some other just red fruits on here. Definitely the oak backbone. Kind of vanilla note has gone away a little bit. This is all caramel, red fruit, cherry, and a little bit of oak in the background. Let's take a sip. No contest. John J. Bowman lays the smackdown. There's no reason you should ever buy Hancocks Reserve. I can't think of it. Put in the comments a reason why you would buy Hancocks Reserve. I can't think of a single one tonight. So what we learned is this. If you want the best Buffalo Trace has to offer, just go buy a John J. Bowman. I should say of the readily available products. If you see a Hancocks Reserve for $50, you know, I'd probably pass unless you just love the bottle shape or you're trying to get, you know, like your teenage daughter or something into drinking. I don't know why else you'd buy it. Not that we condone underage drinking on this channel. Yeah, I think I'd pass. So if you like what you saw tonight, please like, comment, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button, everybody. Thanks. Have a good evening.